If there were a stock that you've been wanting to buy for a while now, but always considered it a little bit overpriced, and then suddenly it dropped over 50% in one day, would you be too scared to buy that stock, or would you be like, hell yeah, it's on sale? Well, I actually have a stock for you that falls under that exact characteristic. It dropped over 50% on Friday, so I definitely think you guys need to look into it, but I'll get to that in a second. What's up, guys? My name's David Hanlon, aka the Laptop Legend for those of you who do not know me, and I like making these videos about stocks. Now, it's been a really slow week for the past week. I mean, insanely slow. The market, it just feels like it's asleep. It feels like 90% of the traders just weren't even coming to work. So because of that, there's very few opportunities in the market, and to be able to make any type of money, you have to know pretty much what these opportunities are going to be beforehand so you do not miss them, so you can capitalize on the few opportunities that there are and then walk away before you give back those gains. So that's what I'm making this video to do, to help you guys be more prepared for those opportunities that I think there are going to be tomorrow, because I've been pretty consistent even despite the slow market. On Friday I forget what it is, I'll throw it right here. It might have been like 800 bucks, I forget off the top of my head. But if you want to be consistently profitable, you got to be prepared for the few opportunities that do present themselves. So that's what this video is for. If you find it helpful, please smash the like button. Please subscribe if you have not already. Share this video with a friend. Helps out the channel, and I appreciate you guys. So let's dive into my computer and look at some of these charts, man, because it's pretty crazy how hard this stock dropped. All right, guys, so I'm here on my laptop, and this is the chart that I wanted to show you guys because it's pretty insane. So I found out about this stock, I want to say right around in this area, and I already thought at this point that it was a little bit overextended, because I mean, if you go in here, it was as low as about 10 cents, and it was all the way up here at, 28 cents, as high as 29 cents. And I'm thinking, all right, if I buy here at 28 cents, there's a pretty decent chance that it falls back under that. Like I could be down 50% of my position if it drops down here, and that wouldn't be too out of the question given that it was consolidating here for a pretty long time. Now, I ended up playing it way too safely on this one, and you can see it went on to run from where I could have bought it, 25, 26, under 30 cents for sure, and it ran all the way up as high as 95 cents, which is pretty nutso, guys. And the reason this stock ran so hard, you'll understand if you take a look at what the share structure of the company looks like. Now, for those of you guys who don't really understand the significance of this, the share structure of the company plays a very important role in how volatile the stock is and how easy it is for it to spike. Because if you think about it, if there's 1 trillion shares of a company and I buy $1 million worth, I can't really push up the price that much because there's so many shares. But you can see here, this has an insanely low float. Now, I'm not sure how accurate this number is. It's not always correct, but if we assume even that this is wrong, let's assume this is the right number. And this was updated on the 10th. It is currently the 11th. So this was literally updated yesterday. So this number is right. And it says 52 million outstanding shares, 32 million held at DTC. So, I mean, even if we want to go with 52 million, that is still a ridiculously low share count for an OTC stock, guys. And if you don't understand the significance of this, let me take you to another stock. Let's see HCMC. What's that one look like? Oh, this one has 307 billion. Which do you think is easier to spike? A stock that has 307 billion outstanding shares, or a stock that has 52 million? You tell me. Now let me just, put some of our other favorites in there. What does OZSC have? Okay, this has 4.4 billion. So still a lot less than HCMC for sure, but still way more than GTVH. Way more than GTVH. So this is something that you guys really got to keep an eye on, because, even Humble, if we go to Humble, after they did their reverse split, now it's just under $1 billion. You can see just under $1 billion. It used to be like just under $4 billion. They did a 4-to-1 reverse split. You can see this is still 974 million versus GTVH, 52 million. So an OTC stock that has a float that is this low, that has outstanding shares that is this low, is so ridiculously volatile. And the example I like to give, it's a little bit crude, so if you're offended, I apologize. But I mean, this literally can move on a weak fart. And that is how you get a stock that runs from 11 cents all the way up to 95 cents like that, because it does not take hardly any buying power to move this thing, which is what's crazy. And if you watch how this thing trades, you would understand. Now, look at this insane drop, guys. Absolutely insane drop. From what I heard, there was some person who I guess has known about this company for a while, had a bunch of shares from, I guess, 10-cent area, and they decided to sell them all market. That's what I heard, which is a really stupid idea. Definitely missed out on a lot of money, but I think they had like 1 million shares, and they dumped a lot of them here. Maybe it was 2 million. So if I go look at the intraday chart, you guys can see a little bit better what exactly happened. I mean, this thing fell off a bridge, and you can see where the selling volume started to come in, and it just tanked, tried to bounce, tanked even lower, tried to bounce, tanked even lower, tried to bounce, tanked even lower, and eventually finished. You know, it closed right here at about 33 cents, 32.99. I guess that was the final print. So that is pretty wild, man. I mean, I guess it opened at 82 and closed at 28.7. Low was 28.7, closed at 33. So if you are interested in this stock and you want to give something a little try, this is a potentially pretty good option, because it will not take much to get this thing moving again. And from what I've seen, fundamentally, there's actually some decent things going on. They've got some decent news coming out. I'm not going to go read through all these press releases, but basically it's a holding company that has 3 separate divisions, and I looked into some of these things, and they seem pretty cool. They seem pretty cool. Does this mean that this is the next trillion-dollar company? No. But I think the fact that it's such a big discount means that there's a pretty good chance that if you swing this, from an area around here, your trade will be profitable at some point. Is that saying it can never dip below 33 cents? No. I mean, honestly, I think it could probably dip back down to 10 cents, and that would be a better entry. So if you want to take dive into the stock, I wouldn't take huge size. I personally would not take huge size, but I think it could be cool just to see where it goes. You know, you take 10,000 shares here at 33 cents, and that goes up here. I mean, that's $7,000 profit on a $3,000 investment. So I think that could be pretty cool, but also, you know, there is some downside. So know that if you're putting in 10,000 shares, you're putting in $3,000, you're risking probably $2,000. I mean, I can't see risking anything other than 10 cents on here. I mean, if you risk here, it could easily just drop below that. So, I mean, maybe this is the type of thing where you add if it drops more, but I think this has some serious upside from this price, because I mean, I was interested in it around this area after I missed the entry here. So keep that in mind, guys. I think this is a really cool chart that you guys definitely want to look into. And again, those low floats, man. One person buys it and it instantly skips up from 30 cents up to 35 cents. Like I saw this here, like literally just instant skip up. So keep that in mind. If you're trying to day trade this thing, you cannot chase at all, because it can drop 5 cents a share like that. So keep that in mind. Now, I also wanted to talk about RGBP. RGBP. And this is a stock that I actually talked about the other day, because it went on a crazy run. And it actually had some really good continuation today. So if I go and show you guys this chart, I made the video about it. You know, here, it held up its gains really nicely, and this pulled an MDMP type move just like I was hoping for. So it gapped up the next day, went on a crazy spike, and then closed near the highs again. It closed near the highs again. So if this thing breaks out past this area, my goodness, I think it could get really interesting. So keep that in mind. Now, is it overextended? Probably a little bit at this point. You know, this thing is up from, let's do the math, 0.002, and is currently at 0.27. So I mean, in 2 days, it's up. I can't do that math. What, 1,300%, 14, something like that. So this is pretty overextended at this point. So this is not something I would buy and hold from this area. But I really think if it rips past the 3 cent level, it could get really interesting. So keep that in mind, guys. This is definitely one you want to keep on your watch list. Now, they actually have some preferred shares you guys might not know about. So I just wanted to throw this out here. If you throw an extra P, make it RGBPP, you get the preferred shares, which pretty much mimic the other one, but this has a lower float, and I think they actually may pay a dividend. Now, I'm not going to go into the fundamentals of this company. I think they may be working in RMA, if I'm not mistaken, those types of vaccines. I could be wrong on that. Definitely do your research. I'm just trading this from a technical level, not a fundamental level, but there are some catalysts on this that make it pretty interesting. So pretty cool that you also have this option. And if you prefer to trade this over RGBP, you know, it is an option. So keep that in mind, guys. We also had, it was crazy, we had a lot of RG stocks running up. We had RGMP, this is another one, but this one just kind of died. But you can see this one spiked up from, my goodness, I mean, that wow. I don't even know what to say about this one. It went from 20 cents up to $2.4, and I mean, it's just crazy, guys. It's crazy. I didn't trade this one because this one was a little scary for me. I didn't see it until around this area, and I'm not buying anything that's up from 20 cents to 180. I mean, maybe you could buy on a little pullback here when it starts to bounce, but this is also very thinly traded, so it's easy to get washed out if you take any type of big size. But I just thought it was cool to throw that chart on there for you guys. So those are the main stocks that I'm watching, honestly, for Monday in terms of, I guess, from a long perspective. But now if I go and look at some of the shorts that I actually did on Friday to make some of my money, just so you guys can be aware of some of the stuff that I did. Let me actually change my account number here really quick so that I can see. All right, so what was I trading? Let's go up a little bit. All my order history is loading. Got like 10 million orders. All right, so just some examples of stocks that are a really, really easy short. OCUP. This is an example of a stock that I shorted, guys. And this is one of those things that in this market, breakouts are pretty much just failing. They're pretty much just failing every single time. So a strategy is when a stock breaks out past high a day, past a key psychological level, like a $0.50, $6.50, for example, you buy that because typically speaking, it continues on. You know, it continues on and sees a nice breakout. Buyers come in and it goes on to run to $7.50, $8. But in the current market climate that we're in, when a stock breaks out to new highs, it rejects a lot of the time. And you can see this wick here, which means that it broke out past this level. There was a quick spurt of buying, and then a huge wave of sellers came back in and smacked this thing back below the breakout level, and it ended up being here and just, I mean, it could never come back. It literally never came back from that. So this is a pretty good sign when it rejects this hard from a high of daybreak. That is a pretty good sign that you can start shorting the stock. And you can also see here, it was holding a nice uptrend, how it was wicking on the low end. It kept wicking, bouncing higher. Every time it tried to break down, it would just wick up and keep bouncing. You can see, I mean, I don't know if I can draw here. I thought I had a drawing tool. Drawing tool, come on, baby. Oh, I guess I was right clicking. That's kind of silly. That's a rookie mistake. All right, let me try one more time. So, I mean, you can see here, every time it wicked and then bounced back up. So that's a pretty good sign it's going to keep going. But as soon as it broke down under that, this is where I started shorting the stock. And I didn't make a ton of money because I'm still working on having the confidence to take big size on a short and to have the patience to hold it all the way down. But, I mean, this was a pretty easy short. And, you know, I covered here, re-shorted into the bounce. And, you know, I was pretty much just shorting this on the way down until, you know, it finally bounced at the end there. But I made some pretty decent money shorting this. I don't remember exactly how much. And Schwab is kind of annoying because they don't show you how much money you made per ticker in your closed positions. They show you like per trade. So if I trade the same ticker like 20 times, I'm not going to manually add it up to figure out how much I made on the ticker. So if one of you guys knows how to see just for the ticker on the day what your realized profit or loss is, that would be very helpful for me and probably for you guys so you can know how much I made on these tickers. But this was just one of the examples of great setups because we're having a lot of these stocks that will spike up and then just absolutely fade. EYES, this is another good example. This thing, you know, it spiked up really hard. Here's an example of what a breakout would look like if, you know, if it goes well. So you can see this breakout level right here. It breaks out past that and it goes to rip from $9.50. Pretty much the same price point, right? Is that the same price point? I forget. And no, maybe it was $7.50. I forget. So you can see it breaks out past this and goes straight up from $9.50 all the way up to $10.38 without a single red candle. So, I mean, this is a really clean breakout. And also the ascending support line is a pretty good sign that you don't want to be shorting right here in this level. But when it breaks out and then it wicks hard, it tries to break out, there's a huge rejection candle, it makes a newer low right here. This is a pretty good sign that you want to be short from this area. A pretty good sign, especially in this market. And again, the clear risk right here is just risking on high a day. You know, risk on high a day. And this one just faded off all day after that. So if you short here, at 980, 970. You can cover down here at the end of the day at 870, make $1 a share. You know, 1,000 shares, that's $1,000. So pretty cool, man. Pretty cool, these short setups. I just want to talk about, you know, some of these little technical analysis things so you guys know where you should be getting short and where you should not be getting short. Because again, if you're trying to be short biased, you know, you see this thing spike up from, I don't know, 820 all the way up to 948, 950, and you're thinking, all right, man, this thing's got to come back down. But you see it making higher lows every time, and then you see it ramping up like this, and then it breaks out the high. That is a pretty good sign you don't want to be shorting in here. It's easier to short backside because you're not trying to just guess where the top is. And I've talked about this a lot, but this is just something you guys want to look into. ENZC. This is actually one that you guys actually probably want to be watching for tomorrow. This one closed right at the highs. I don't know why. It might have been a short squeeze. I was trying to short this thing in here, but it kept breaking out, man. It kept breaking out. And I ended up covering for a small loss here because I thought it was overextended. But, man, it closed right at the highs. So this is one you definitely want to keep an eye on. We know that there is a big potential for volatility in this bad boy. I mean, it went from 0.0002 all the way up to 96 cents. So, I mean, this thing went on an insane run. And there's a lot of stocks that are like this in this market. But it's cool to see when they actually close near high today because it feels like everything has been failing. ILUS, I still want to put on your radar. This thing is moving on upwards. I hear good things are coming. Market makers are still making it very hard for me to want to be aggressive in taking a swing position on this stock. But again, guys, I think long term, everything this company's doing with all the acquisitions, it's probably going to be dollars long term. If I had to guess, it could take years for it to get there. But this nice ascending support line, you know, I think it's a pretty decent swing position. But again, it's better to get in on red days because on the green days, you're getting a worse fill. And you can buy a lot less shares at 12 than you can at 10. You know, it's surprising, but you get a lot less shares. And long term, that makes a really big difference if you're planning on holding till dollars. So keep that in mind. INVU, this one broke down some more. And this is actually the accidental overnight. This is the accidental overnight that I forgot to talk about. So let me talk about that. Actually. Let's go. Why can't they give me more days automatically, man? Let's go 4 days, 1 minute. So you guys can see here, I shorted this one when it broke down under that level, and when it broke down under this level, and this was a great short. But then remember, I got squeezed at the end of the day, and I gave back like $600 in profit, and got stuck overnight short from 53-ish. So I got short from like right where that line is, and it gapped up pretty dang big, man. I was short 9,500 shares. I only managed to cover 500, so I was down like 500 or something to start off the day. But luckily, I was able to cover right at the bottom there, and I only took like a $200 loss to start off the day. It might have been like 53.99 I was short from, so it might have been like here I was short from. And luckily, I was able to get out of that thing and get out pretty much unscathed, honestly. And what's cool is I was able to make all that money back and more just by reading the chart well on this stock. So if you look at this chart, guys, where would you say the key support line is on this chart? And you know, maybe I can zoom in to make it a little easier. Maybe I can zoom in to make it a little easier for you guys. What is the key support line that it seems to be bouncing off of every time? You see anything? Well, the answer that I found was this area right here. This area right here. I saw this and I was like, yeah, I need to be shorting if it breaks under that. And I saw that. And so I shorted this thing. I think I ended up shorting right at this 55 area because again, I didn't get filled right here for the break of 56. I saw it was going to break, and I ended up chasing a little bit, getting filled here, and I covered a good amount down here, and I was able to make back like all of my losses and more. So I think I made like 500 on this one dump here with only 10,000 shares. So I mean, it's pretty cool, man. It's just cool to read the charts and to make the right reads. And there's a lot of stocks that trade like this, guys, where there's a key support level throughout the day that once it breaks, it's just over. It's just over, and it's an easy read. And if you can nail these opportunities, you'll make more profit in 2 minutes than you'll make the rest of the choppy day. You know, the market's been super choppy, guys. So if you can get clear reads like this and, you know, take your full size on them, man, it is an opportunity you do not want to miss. So that's why I have the Discord. That's why I call this stuff out. Hopefully you found this review helpful. You know, just looking at these charts, guys. Just looking at these charts. And again, I covered, I forget where. I think I covered early. But I mean, I covered down in this area, you know. So short here, buy back here. It's the same thing as buying at 52, selling at 56. I mean, it's nice, man. It's nice. So again, hopefully you found this video helpful, guys. If you did and you made it to the end, please smash that thumbs up. Be looking out for RGBP tomorrow. Be looking out for GTVH, seeing if it bounces back. If you have any NASDAQs that spike up and have a weak breakout past high day and then fail, have a wicking action at the top, and you can short those, you know, look to do it with small size, because obviously losses are potentially infinite on shorts. So again, I'm not a financial advisor. You know, I'm not telling you guys to short. Always consult with a professional. I gotta say that to cover my bases. But hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, made it to the end, I appreciate you. I am going to, I'm gonna leave now. I'm out. I'm outie. I got this cool thing though. I guess I might show you guys. I may make a video about it in a second, but I actually got this Li Pao Z1 Gamut. I'll probably do an unboxing at some point, but this is basically like an external monitor that you can use for a laptop. So if you guys want to trade and you're on the move and you don't have a, you know, you don't have this thing to take with you everywhere, it could be really, really helpful if you get one of these. So that's why I got it, and I'm excited to test it out, because if I'm traveling a lot, if I'm on the beach in a hotel and I need to have multiple monitors, instead of taking like 50,000 laptops, it's probably just easier to have this. So pretty cool. I'm excited about it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, you know the drill. Let's grow better together. Preguntar, bebé, dime por qué te mientes. No puedes esconder todo lo que tú por mí sientes.